Coming up on Mountain News this morning, there are now at least 26 cases of COVID-19 in the Commonwealth, and more steps are being taken to prevent the spread. And in Pike County, federal recommendations of social distancing were being ignored by folks at a bingo hall last night. And we stay in Pike County, where a state of emergency was declared yesterday. We'll break down what the details of that means.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
The time is now 6 o'clock, and I'm Lacey Roberts. Thank you for joining us on Mountain News This Morning. Today is hump day, and we're all just trying to make it through this week. And I know it's kind of hard with all that rain that we have coming down. And it looks like, B-Rob, that you were talking about either tonight or possibly tomorrow that those rain showers can get possibly bad, correct?
Storms are possible later tonight. Some of those could be on the stronger side, so we're going to keep a close eye on that for you. And those storms could be around for the next couple of days, especially with a warm front tomorrow and a cold front on Friday. So just stay weather aware. I don't think we'll see any severe weather, but we're going to keep a close eye on some stronger storms this morning. Once again, it's the fog. We're looking at dense fog across parts of the area. Dense fog advisory in effect for parts of southwest Virginia and East Tennessee until 10 this morning. Temperatures basically close to where they were yesterday. 45 in Moorhead, Ashland, Prestonsburg, Pikeville, Jackson, Hazard, and Logan. Somerset too, and then everybody else there in the mid to upper 40s and low 50s across the area this morning. Temperature change, degree warmer in Harlan, 2 degrees warmer in Middlesboro. Everybody else right where they were this time yesterday, or a couple of degrees colder. Forecast for today, foggy this morning as we start out right there in the mid to upper 40s. 70 with scattered chances for showers and storms picking up later, and those will continue into the night as we only drop into the low 60s for overnight lows. I'll have the extended forecast coming up here in just a little bit.
Thank you, Brandon. Don't forget, you guys can always download that YMT weather app. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear announced one new case of coronavirus in the state yesterday. Another person tested positive in Kentucky, but is from New York. That person tested positive over Lyon County. That is in western Kentucky. You can see on this map where people tested positive for COVID-19. Jefferson and Fayette County still lead the way with 7 cases each. The governor announced an executive order going into effect this evening that closes all public businesses that cannot comply to CDC guidelines. Those include entertainment venues like gyms, salons, theaters, and sports facilities. The state of Tennessee now has 78 confirmed cases of coronavirus that spread throughout 10 counties. You can see on this map that the majority of cases are in major metropolitan areas. Nashville's Davidson County currently leads the way with 46 cases. Knox County, Tennessee currently has 2 cases. And yesterday, West Virginia became the 50th state to have a confirmed case of coronavirus. Governor Jim Justice said the person with the virus is in the state's eastern panhandle. Justice used a televised address to announce new restrictions, ordering bars, restaurants, and casinos to close with the exception of carry-out food services. Now, just moments before he went on camera, and while the audio was still turned on, Justice loudly cleared his throat, then whispered jokingly, "I've got the virus." The portion of his speech before he went on camera was later deleted. Governor Beshear says that he expects more cases and more restrictions to be put in place before things can improve. Last night, our sister station WKYT was granted a one-on-one interview with Governor Andy Beshear. Amber Philpott sat down with him for about 10 minutes yesterday afternoon. In the wide-ranging interview, they talked about getting a state budget passed, the economic impact this outbreak will ultimately have, and how the governor himself is holding up in these uncertain times.
Since March 6th, Governor Andy Beshear has updated the Commonwealth daily in the state's fight against what has become our toughest opponent, the coronavirus. It's not something this first-term governor could have ever imagined his first months in office would be like.
This is something that tears away any of the politics. And it's truly about the well-being of our people.
In sitting down with the governor, he told me he understands the disruption to daily life that all Kentuckians are now facing, but he says it's critical we all do our part.
It's about being our brother's keeper and our sister's keeper and making sure that we do everything we can to protect those around us.
The governor has called on all employers to take the necessary steps to ensure there is proper distancing of its people. We ask what might happen if that isn't the case.
Every employer needs to know how serious this is. And everybody should have taken at least some steps in some way, depending on their setup, to create more distance, to instill better hygiene practices. Those that don't instill those practices, it will make it more likely that they will have a case. And if they do, instead of allowing more telework, what they may face is an individual closure of their business to ensure that everybody else is protected.
The governor was stern when we asked what he wanted to see happen with the General Assembly and passing a state budget.
I'll tell you, I'm done with politics in this building. What we're facing is a state of emergency, and I can't waste my time on the back and forth anymore. I got a whole state of people that I am looking out for every day. So here's what the General Assembly needs to do. They need to choose one of two options.
The first option is to pass a budget and adjourn. The second is to adjourn and go. And the governor says he would call a special session, but only to address the budget. While the governor is focused on the people of Kentucky, he is well aware of the economic impact this outbreak will continue to have on the state.
And what we're going to have to do to revive, restart, and rebuild different parts of our economy, that's going to be something new that we've never seen either. But I know we can do it together, and I'm going to do everything I can from my end here on the state to try to make everybody as whole as we can.
And lastly, the governor's concern is clear for all Kentuckians. But how's he holding up?
Making decisions that you know will have the impact they've had on people is not easy. But I've got a wonderful wife. I've got 2 great kids. I have 1 good dog, and then I have another dog. And going home to them is pretty special.
Some parts of the country have instituted curfews and citywide lockdowns. The governor says that is not something we should expect in Kentucky at this time. Kentucky lawmakers went back to work yesterday under much different conditions. COVID-19 has resulted in the Capitol being closed to most of the general public. Now, normally lawmakers, lobbyists, and others would be bustling about these hallways, but they were empty. They were very quiet, and lawmakers were able to get back to work. The budget is a big item yet to be decided.
Try to come in and conclude our business now before or if this gets any more contagious or spreads to this part of the state or where we are.
We need to pass a budget. We don't need to pass a budget today. I don't know that it's the best idea to be getting more than 10, certainly more than 50 people together in the same room and exposing staff and employees and members.
Some lawmakers say there are more important things to do besides pass a budget, including the Real ID bill and a 2-year road plan. Others are questioning why they are coming together when the governor is discouraging people being so close. And State Representative Chris Harris of Pike County posted this picture to Facebook yesterday. This is his view from inside the House chambers. In his post, Harris said by them continuing with the session, it is, quote, sending the absolute wrong message, end quote, to Kentuckians. Those federal social distancing recommendations did not impact the bingo scene in Pike County last night. Dozens of players showed up to the Mark IV bingo hall, filling the parking lot in an otherwise empty area and ignoring the recommendations to avoid gatherings larger than 10 people. And as we just mentioned, Governor Andy Beshear ordered entertainment gathering spaces like this to shut down by 5 p.m. tonight. And as worries about COVID-19 grow, Pike County officials laid the groundwork as the county government moves forward. Many offices will close for the foreseeable future. WYMT's Marian Fletcher breaks down what we have learned.
A state of emergency is issued for Pike County.
Pike County will be the 43rd or 44th county after today to declare an emergency.
Judge Executive Ray Jones makes this decision due to the COVID-19 virus.
And let me be clear, Pike County does not have a diagnosed case of COVID-19. We want to keep it that way.
During a news conference, Jones announced multiple changes beginning Wednesday.
All in-person government services to the public will cease.
The Pike County Courthouse will close, along with senior citizen centers, community centers, and the animal shelter.
You've got this virus and you have 50 people together. That's a lot of people that it can be transmitted to.
Those who travel out of the county are also asked to be cautious.
All Pike County employees and residents are discouraged from traveling to any county, even in Kentucky, where known cases of COVID-19 exist.
While many changes are implemented, Jones says it's all in an effort to keep everyone safe and healthy. In Pike County, Marianne Fletcher, WYMT Mountain News.
All people in Pike County are urged to register for Rave Alerts. That is a notification system to tell everyone what's going on, and we have information on our website, WYMT.com, on how to sign up for that. Last night, Pikeville police and emergency officials held a news conference to announce some new regulations and guidelines. Pikeville City Police will be entering homes with gloves and masks if necessary. The lobby of the department will be closed. The phone inside the lobby will now be located outside. The 911 dispatch center will now be pre-screening calls to ensure the safety of responders.
Again, we just ask, please bear with us. It may seem totally irrelevant to the call that you're calling on, but it means the world to not only you, but to us.
Those questions will include respiratory issues, coughing, or recent travel. Pikeville Fire Department also announced stopping their outside duties like CPR training and fire prevention. We have the full list of new regulations on our website, WYMT.com.
The word of the day, once again, is fog, at least for the morning hours. Let's take a look, and we see on the fog tracker visibility there, you'll see lots of folks below that 5-mile threshold, some folks below 1 mile, so keep that in mind this morning. UVA-wise, yep, definitely fogged in over there this morning. That's why they have a dense fog advisory until 10 a.m. along with Lee County, their neighbor there, and over into Claiborne and Campbell counties in East Tennessee. Temperatures 40s and 50s this morning, very similar to yesterday. A little cooler, though, in some of those northern counties. 45 from basically Moorhead all the way down to Hazard, over toward Logan as well, and then you see the rest of the area getting closer to that 50-degree mark or above as you get closer to the border. EmojiCast today sums up the way I feel. That sad face there, mostly cloudy skies, chances for rain will return late, some showers and storms, and those chances for storms will continue tomorrow and Friday as well, with a couple of different fronts that's going to affect us. Lacey?
Thank you, Brandon. And thank you for joining us for Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Coming up, health officials tell us more than 79,000 people worldwide who contracted the coronavirus have recovered. Now we're hearing their stories.